Hey sis, hello. We are back. On Edges and Drinks live Wednesday lives, and we're gonna keep this up for the whole year. Pray for us because we haven't done this before, but this is the kind of pace that we are gonna follow all through 2024. Let me introduce myself. My name is Miriam. I am the founder of Edges and Drinks, and I'm also a service expert and culture entrepreneur. So I started Edges and Drinks because I believe that we needed a broader safe space, a safe space that goes above land barriers. Edges and Drinks tagline is unapologetically connecting, equipping, and celebrating Black and Brown women in the Nordics. And this year we have set a compass, or call it a blueprint, for the year of 2024, and that's the word of 2024, which is overflow. So in this video, or in this live, we are going to talk about what it implies. What does it mean, overflow, for us as Black and Brown women? Because like I've stated earlier before, as I was building up for this year with my New Year's Eve special, you can see it on Edges and Drinks TV, and there I spoke about that you maybe don't think about overflow when you think of Black and Brown women, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into why. But today, most importantly, I just want to dissect the concept of a word of the year and also go deeper into overflow. This year we are focusing on equipping Black and Brown women in the Nordics. Together with our partners in the different countries and our team here in Oslo, we have a program and a lot of live sessions where we'll be equipping you. We'll be sharing tools. We're going to invite a lot of professionals within different areas of emotional, mental, physical, and lifestyle professionals that specialize within how do we feel physically, how do our body feels, and also preparing our bodies, our mind, our spirit, and our emotions for the goals that we've set for this year. So let me start with explaining the concept of the word of the year. Maybe you've heard that a lot of high achievers, a lot of maybe famous or rich people always have different kind of routines when it comes to the day-to-day life, when it comes to planning a whole year, and also long-term goals. And one thing that a lot of successful people have is setting a target, setting a compass, setting a lane for the year. And that's basically what the word of the year is all about. You decide kind of an umbrella that you want to follow throughout the whole year, and you're going to implement it in every area of your life. So this year we've decided to go to follow the word of this year, that is overflow. So I hope you understand the concept of it. So we have a lot of ground to cover, so I'm gonna just jump into it. So let's start. I just spoke about the concept of setting a word for the year, and shortly that's setting on a compass, a blueprint for the kind of year that you want. And this year we are following the word of the year, that is overflow. So to start going into following a word, and especially if you've never done this concept before, I want to start with a very important step. This whole life is going to be divided in 3 different pillars. Throughout the whole life, I want to share 3 different pillars that will help you to start thinking and reprogramming your mind about overflow, about the kind of year you want, and also about how you specifically can reach your perception of overflow in 2024. So starting out, as any goal, you need to have clarity. Remember, The umbrella, the compass is overflow. So when we're speaking about clarity, what or how does, what is your perception of overflow? What does overflow mean to you? Clarity. Remember, because when you draft down your perception of overflow, then also as you are dissecting it for yourself, you also figure out what it means to you. Because when I said earlier that maybe you don't think about black and brown women, when you think about overflow, that's a historical thing. That's something that's been implemented in the system and comes from, I'm telling you, 400-500 years back. And this is the I spoke about in my New Year's Eve special that we're gonna dismantle the strong black woman complex, and that is also what I mean when you think about overflow and you don't associate it with black women. Why? Because black women have been oppressed. That's in our system. Somebody can think, oh, that's a long time ago, that's not happening now. Yes, these are the kind of things that can get passed down generations. You know, when we talk about breaking generational curses, that can be one of them, because it's not only what's put on us from society or from history that black women should handle everything. This is also something that we within our community can pass on. Because you maybe have seen your mother, your grandmother, any authoritative figures in your life maybe were hard workers, maybe never complained about being tired, about not having any time for themselves, because they just plainly didn't have any other choice. And that mentality, because remember, we learn of what we see and not necessarily what we hear. So that mentality starts on such an early age. Thinking like, okay, if my auntie did this, if my mommy did this, if my grandmother did this, surely I can do it as well. Not thinking about the attributes of the time it was, not thinking about the lifestyle they had, not thinking about the obligations they had compared to what you have in your times today. So that's what I mean with, you might not think about black and brown women when you think about overflow, when you think about abundance. And what I put in overflow, I shared this in our live last week, that is having a lifestyle where whatever happens in your life, in whatever season, you have a good flow through life. Meaning you can have your routines, you can have your day-to-day obligations, your family obligations, your work obligations, and then when things don't really go as expected, you don't, to say it plainly, lose your shit. You don't lose your balance, you don't lose your inner peace. You continue in a good flow. If things are up or things are down, you continue in a good flow. That is what I put in the word overflow. So what does overflow mean to you? What kind of overflow do you need? For me, for example, this year, the kind of overflow I want is to be able to be enough for myself, but also for the people that I care about. I want to have more quality times. I want it to be natural for me to be with my people. Not something I feel like I'm sacrificing or something where I have to kill any darlings. And that's a shift in my lifestyle, because I run 2 companies, I'm a single sister, and that means I have much more time than most of my friends that have small children and so on. So I want you to get clarity on overflow. What does it mean for you? So clarity is the first one. And then when you get clarity, the next one is a tough one. That's boundaries. Because now you know what kind of overflow you want. How are you going to reach it? What does it demand of you? I've said this earlier. We are changing the narrative. We're changing the narrative of black and brown women in the Nordics. We're changing the narratives of how we see ourselves and also how we treat each other, because bad company can corrupt good people. You're going to hear this several times throughout this life. So setting boundaries, because changing the narrative, moving into making a paradigm shift demands boundaries. And the older we get, we become more routine kind of people, routine based. Everything goes on automatic, you know. For those of you who drive, you've probably driven from your workplace home, or dropping your kid off for some activity, and you've just driven and all of a sudden you are home. You didn't think about it. Why? Because you've done that so many times, it goes automatically. You can be on the phone, you can be talking to your kid, but you're not gonna miss a left or right turn because you know where you're going. That goes on automatic. That's what your mind has been programmed. That's where I'm going home. This is the same thing. When you have clarity about what kind of overflow you want, what kind of year you want, you need to set boundaries to stay focused on those goals, to stay focused on the kind of life you want to pan out throughout of 2024. And after setting boundaries, we're going back to what I said about when things start getting automatic habits. You do certain things every day, and these things are clearly not helping the kind of overflow you want in your life, the kind of goals you've set for yourself in your life. So you have to then dissect what are the patterns, what are the habits that you have that are hindering you to live the life or to have the lifestyle that you want. Because overflow is not necessarily like this ravishing life with no problems where nothing bad ever happens. That's life. Things happen. Life is all about ups and downs. Life is full of tragedies, and that's part of life. So when I go back to yet again, what patterns do you have in your life? What habits do you have in your life that are hindering you from living the life and the kind of overflow that you want in your life? I said that we're going to go through 3 different pillars to break down the concept of overflow and what it means for me, what it means for you, and how we can together help each other to reach the level of overflow that we want to reach this year. So first one of those 3 pillars is courage. Courage covers what we've already gone through. We've gone through clarity, right? We've gone through clarity, we've gone through boundaries, and we just spoke about patterns, because all of this matters. But maybe you're wondering, how does that play in on courage? I'll tell you, it takes courage to change the narrative. It takes courage to choose a different life than you have right now. Because the life that you have has taken time to build up. The relationships that you have taken time to build up. You're getting now associated to the kind of life that you have. So it takes courage to just flip all of that and say, you know what? I've been going this direction for such a long time. I've been on these different lanes for such a long time. I'm done. I need a change. That takes courage. And you must be thinking like, oh, that's a lot of courage with the people that you know, the people that you live with. Yes, but also for yourself. Because now all of a sudden you're visualizing another kind of life. You're visualizing another kind of lifestyle. You might have had it before, or this is just a kind of mecca or whatever you can call it. A kind of goal that you have for yourself. That's the level I want to live on. Maybe you've never been there, and that's what a vision is. But when you get clarity on it and you start setting boundaries, protecting, because this is where I'm going. You know, in horse races, when you see horses, they have these shields. That's because they need boundaries. If they will see what everything is happening in the different lanes, they will get distracted. So they have shields to continue this way. Having shields demands courage. Let me know if you want us to have a totally different life about that specific area, courage. But for now, we're going to leave it there. So 3 pillars to help you step into the life of overflow, the year of overflow, to totally flip your life around, change the narrative in your life. Because we're ready. The time is now. I'm so happy to be in this generation. The time is now. Because this is why we say unapologetically connecting, equipping, and celebrating Black and brown women. We're unapologetic. Unapologetic means we're not asking for permission. For far too long, Black and brown women have been asking for permission, have been excusing themselves to be in certain rooms, have been having to do Black girl math before they leave their house to prepare themselves for a society that is not made, a system that's not made for them. That's been going on for far too long. Too many successful people, systems have been built on the shoulders of many, amongst others, Black and brown women. We are unapologetic, meaning we are not fighting for it, we are not explaining it, we are just regrouping, sharing the right tools, and moving ahead. So that's courage, that's clarity. Where am I going? How does it look like for me? Because my overflow might not be your overflow. Your life as you know it right now might not be like mine, or your friends, or your sisters. Clarity, boundaries, patterns. What are you feeding into the life that you're living? All of that wrapped into courage. Moving on. One that many coaches or empowerment speakers or just public speakers want to talk about and won't push too much is rest. That's pillar number 2. We're going through 3 pillars that are going to help you to work towards the year of overflow, for you to taste the nectar of overflow, because you're worth it and it's your time. Hey, it's your time, sis. This year, God have mercy on everybody that ever doubted you, and yourself as well. Rest. Not many people talk about rest. Rest is you rebooting. Rest is you fueling up. Rest is taking care of the clarity that we mapped out in the beginning. Because if you're too busy, a busy bee, trust me, your clarity gets a bit foggy. If you're not rested, you won't be able to protect your vision. You won't be able to protect your clarity. You won't be able to protect the goal that you've set for yourself, because it's personal. Nobody knows how important it is for you. Nobody knows that it might be crucial. Some of you watching this is maybe the last year you've set for yourself to turn things around. You've tried so many times. You've bought coaching programs. You've followed different influencers, but you're still not getting the results that you want. Sis, you need to rest. A personal testimony. Like I told you, I'm a coach or producer. I've been running my own company for 14 years, walking into 15th year this year. And I've done a lot of jobs under the umbrella of entertainment and culture. And I remember there was a season of my life where I was working so much you wouldn't even understand it. I was working so much, but as a Black woman, I can handle it, you know? I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. So I was working a lot, and when the fruits started coming out of my hard work, I started making a lot of money, more money than I had ever seen on my account. What happened? Met the wall head first. Depression followed with that, anxiety, daily anxiety attack, panic attacks followed with that. Did I enjoy the fruits of my hard labor? No, I didn't. I remember in that season, I just felt like if I could just get my peace back, if I could just get myself back, to give all of that money back, I would have done it. If I could exchange all of that money for my peace, for my joy, I would have done that. And one thing that could have changed that whole situation was if I was resting within every goal, every milestone I had set. And specifically talking to you, sis, as a black woman, we are not raised with the perception of rest being a foundation of inner peace, of wellness. We haven't been trained or programmed for that from a young age. And I don't blame our parents, I really don't, because we also have to think about where they come from. How were they raised? Remember, they look just like you and me, but older. And I believe every generation just tries to make the following generation better than their generation was. Give them a better lifestyle. So rest is so crucial in reaching goals, in changing the narrative. Black people, black women, we've been trying to change the narratives, and we've done a lot throughout history. We've done a lot. But to what cost? Just think about it, our generation now, how many sisters, brothers haven't we lost when it comes to helping out the community, when it comes to maybe fighting for a cause or just giving support? Why? Because it's tiresome, because it becomes overwhelming, because we don't have a natural way of thinking about balance or a healthy flow in our life, in our lifestyle. So rest, I'm telling you, sis, regardless of whatever goal you have set for yourself, I know this year, 2024, overflow is ours. The victory is ours. The victory is for the bold. Remember, I spoke about courage, but being courageous can be tiresome. Changing the narrative can be tiresome. And this is some of you might be thinking about, oh, yes, but this is because of outside, external factors. But no, sis, not at all. Not only, rather, because this is also about you. So when you get your clarity, you set boundaries, you're now rearranging your habits. You need rest. And when I mean rest, I don't mean shut off your phone, get a sick leave, stay at home. No. I mean making it a lifestyle, making it a habit to rest with your boundaries. You know, I'm not going out at that time because I need to be in bed at this time. I know I'm not gonna hang out with that person because that one pulls out the shenane in me. You feel me? Rest will maintain clarity. Rest maintains clarity. 3 pillars of walking into the year of overflow: courage and rest. Says, I'm never ever gonna stop reminding you about rest, reminding you about that fundamental ground of changing the narrative. Nothing big, nothing massive can be achieved without a healthy understanding of the concept of rest. That's pillar number 2. Now moving into the last pillar. There's so much more I can say about this, but I just want to start by giving you an understanding and also small steps, baby steps that you can do already today, tonight, after this live. We've gone through 2 pillars, and before I continue, if you feel like this live is feeding into your soul, it's helping you already as we speak, share it. Share it. And if you're not thinking about anybody particular, it's for you. It's for you. I don't know about you. Sometimes as I'm a coach, entrepreneur, and a producer, I have produced a lot of conferences, seen some of the world's best public speakers, motivational speakers, and sometimes I've heard like pieces where I've been like, oh, this would have been perfect for that friend, this would have been perfect for my sister. No, sometimes it is for you. So if this is for you, come closer, sis, because the third one is community. Changing the narrative, living a life of overflow, abundance, if you may. You need a good network. You need a good support system. That's the right word. You need a good support system. Earlier I spoke about bad character corrupts good people. Hey, that word, let it marinate in you. Let me say it slower. Bad character corrupts good people. Bad character corrupts good people. Think about it when you were younger and you maybe wanted to hang with that particular friend that was maybe popular or always dressed good, always had the what to say, the comebacks and everything. And then your parents forbid you to be with that person, to be friends with that person. Why? Because they, as older, as adults, could probably see something in that individual that they knew if you hang too much around them, it will change you. It's true. Think about it. You've probably had somebody around you that somebody recommended for you not to be with. Somebody that warned you not to be with that person. Community, company. And when we talk about community, your community could be your sister, it could be a friend, a neighbor, the parenting group at your child's kindergarten or school. But who do you keep around you? Who knows about your goals? Who has authority in your life? I had a live on my birthday. For those of you who follow me, Miriam Nabunya, at Miriam Nabunya on Instagram. I had a live on my birthday, the 17th of October. I spoke about how I want to surround myself with people that I share values with. And that might sound as it goes without saying, but the thing is that doesn't come naturally, because you have to understand it as well. There's so many sayings. There's so many motivating sayings, so many inspirational sayings, but do you know the proper meaning of that? Like, you know it in every cell of your body. Community is important. And in Edges and Rings, we're all about community. There's nothing like going through fun times or going through sad times and you have the same people there. People who saw you at your greatest, people who saw you at your worst, and they're still there. To connect these three pillars, we spoke about courage, we've spoken about rest, and we've spoken about community. When you start to being clear about where you want to go, then you will automatically start thinking about who can help you get there. And I don't want you to go down the lane of, oh, I don't want to use people. That's not what it's about. Community is not about using people. It's about winning for us. I win, you win. You win, I win. I eat, you eat. You eat, I eat. That's what community is about. So when you start setting bold goals, when you start understanding and say, you know what, my life is good, but it can be better, and you figure out what you need to do to reach that. Who's around you? Who's supporting you? Who's feeding into you? If you follow me, I've also spoken about where that I said I've finally reached a place in my life, a stage in my life where I don't need people to like me. I'm a surviving people pleaser. Really, oh yes. I could take jobs. I could agree with certain things being done that not necessarily were things that I really supported. But throughout the years, I've started to really understand how toxic that way of behavior was. So coming through that, I started to narrow in on who has authority in my life. We're talking about community, sis. Who has authority in your life? Who can speak into your life that you change your direction? Community. Community is so important. So think about that. As we're finishing off, I want you to write that down. If you are not taker, write this down. We're talking about the year of overflow. What it means to you. Get clarity on it. What kind of overflow do you need in your life? Do you need more alone time? Do you need more time with your friends? Do you want to travel more? Do you want to work less? What does that imply for you? We'll be sharing tools that will help you in all areas of your life. Don't worry about that. We'll be sharing it, but it's important for you because people who don't have a direction will feed into anything. Anybody can just turn you to go their way if you don't have a direction, if you don't have boundaries, if you don't have clarity, if you are not aware about your patterns and habits that have resulted into the life that you have now that you want to change. Rest. I can't emphasize this enough. Rest, sis. Rest. It's your time to rest. Find out what patterns, what habits do you have that are hindering you from rest. Because rest, hey, you don't want to play with a black woman with goals and that's rested. Hey, that will be the day you lose. That will be the day you lose. Rest, sis. If you need permission, this is your sign. Rest. And lastly, I repeat myself, community. Bad company corrupts good people. You can be the bad company in your community, you know. I'm being real with us this year. No filters. You can be the bad character in your network. Be honest. Remember, we spoke about courage. Honesty, you need to be courageous to be honest, and especially to yourself. You are you. You are the only person you can't escape. So be honest with yourself. Are you maybe bad character? But regardless, the good news is, one, we'll be able to do this together. Two, it's never too late. Matter of fact, the time is now. Maybe you thought about doing it in 2020. Oh, it's Corona, we are home, I don't need to leave my house, I'm gonna work on me. It didn't work out. You maybe thought about it in 2021. This is the year we're getting back, we're gonna start socializing. It didn't happen. 2023, 2023 was many people's year. Same people are setting 2024 as their year. I'll tell you, 2024 is your year. Is your year of abundance, is your year of overflow, is your year of inner peace, is your year of resting. Let me know if you understand, if you feel me, if what we've gone through have added some more clarity to the concept of a word of the year, and also specifically overflow that we're gonna follow. You've probably seen online, there's a lot of people talking about 2024 being the year of hope, 2024 being the year of more, 2024 being the year of freedom. What does all of that go under? Overflow. If you want to reach a lifestyle that you haven't had it before, you need hope, yes. When you reach overflow, you have more, you want more. Living a life with a healthy balance is indeed freedom. So nobody's wrong. We're just using different words for actually the same kind of blueprint. So that's why I'm so confident in this particular word. I shared in my New Year's Eve special that I've been doing this for years. I started in 2016, 2017, theming the year, and it has made amazing results and achievements in my life. Because when you have a compass, when you have a roadmap, trust me, you're going to end up in different intersections, but you know where you're going. You know where you're going. And a wonderful thing is when you are moving with people that are like-minded, people who have set goals of their own, and you're sharing tools, and they know how their journey is. That's why you are good for each other. You support each other. It's lonely on the mountaintop. People who go alone don't get far. They can win. I'm not contradicting myself. They can win, but then what's a win by yourself though? But we go together. That's power. That is power. And by setting a goal, setting a theme for your year, you also fight one of the biggest challenges we have in our time is distraction. You know what? I'm going to do a live on only that. Distraction. Everything in our time is fighting for our attention. Distraction kills more dreams than any kind of addiction. Did you know that? A lot of people set goals. And especially around this time, a lot of people set goals. But how many reach them though? Distractions. I promise you, mark my words, I promise you, end of February, check in with the people who had New Year's resolutions. Do it. Beginning of March, check in. That's not going to be us though. We're going to stay steadfast together. Hey, I'm so excited for this year. I'm so excited for us. And I'm so grateful for your trust. I'm so grateful for your time. And we've spoken about the year of overflow for Edges and Drinks, for Black and Brown women in the Nordics. We are going to thrive, rested, determined, and have fun while we do it. You hear me? See you next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock Oslo time. Here we'll be dissecting some kind of area within physical, mental, emotional health and spiritual health. Whatever it means to you, we'll give you the tools for you to narrow down on it and figure it out for you. Remember, when you eat, I eat. When you win, I win. Thank you so much, sisters. And remember to drink your water, mind your business, and guard your peace. Bye.